Ladies and gentlemen, sitting across from me right now, Mr. Eddie Jenkins.
How you doing, Eli?
Buddy, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
You're probably one of the coolest looking guests we've ever had come in here. I'm telling you, man, that cowboy hat, dude, is killer. Where'd you get that at?
I don't really know. I'm a vintage guy. I love just shopping for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I can go to a vinyl store and spend all day and I just love old things. I think sometimes I was born in the wrong decade.
I feel that way every single day. What I thought would be cool is like to be born in the 50s.
Yeah.
So that way you were a teenager by the 60s, getting close to your 20s by the end of the 60s.
Yeah.
And then you got the 70s and 80s. And by the time this rolls around, you're just ready for everything to be over with.
Yeah. But I always wondered if we was around during that time, would we have wanted to been growing up in the 50s?
Huh. Yeah. Well, I would say especially like during the end of the 60s, some people were thinking that way. Yeah, it makes you wonder what they think.
Like the music taste, would they have changed?
Uh-huh. Huh. Man, well, it also depends on where you were growing up, too.
Yeah.
Like around here, I don't know. It would just be cool to have a time machine and see how things were working back then. Music, when did even music get big? Like, I mean, I know you had the swing back in the 20s and 30s, but even that wasn't technically like mainstream.
I think Bob Wills, because he was, if you actually go back and look at some of his stuff, he was light years ahead of his time on a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
He was the first distorted guitar. If you listen, yeah, he was the first amplified. He was the first racy lyrics.
Huh. So, who's this guy?
Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys.
Okay, I thought that name sounded familiar. That's where I've heard that name from right there.
You can look him up, and it sounds like Chuck Berry, but in the 30s.
Whoa.
On some stuff, but it's wide how they played because they just played big band. He wanted the biggest band, real flashy and stuff.
Who was that? The older woman. She was African American. Kind of a heavier set woman that played electric guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking
Mama
about?
Something.
Yeah,
She had a SG.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen those videos. Burn it up.
Whoa, man! I mean, she could outplay most guitarists nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that she looked, like, I mean, that was somebody's grandmother.
Yeah.
She looked like she was supposed to be cooking dinner on Sunday morning or something. Like, she would even wear like nightgowns whenever she played. But dude, she was phenomenal. I wish I could think of her name.
Was it Mama Thornton?
It was Mama something, and that's the perfect name, Mama whatever. Has to have the word Mama in it. But yeah, man, especially Chuck Berry too. See, people look at Elvis as the king of rock and roll.
Yeah.
But to me, I guess you'd have a lot of them because, like you said, that one guy was breaking barriers back in the 30s. But for people that brought it mainstream, I'll say, I think Chuck Berry did a little bit more than Elvis for rock and roll.
You could even go Little Richard.
Yeah.
But to me, you got to have a guitar at the front of rock and roll. What makes rock is, guitar driven.
Yeah. You can even say Little Richard was more kind of like R&B soul type because you'd really want a piano for R&B.
Mm-hmm. If you look at any licks on any lead guitarist in the 60s and 70s, 80s, they come directly from Chuck Berry. Yeah.
Well, that's who the Beatles and tons of other people got their inspiration from. Elvis, he put on a good show. He's Elvis.
Yeah.
But Chuck Berry, man, he rocked out. But those, especially for who he was and the time period he was in, he should have never been as big as he was.
Have you heard about him and Keith Richards, the deal where he knocks him out almost?
No,
over
I
touching
haven't heard
his guitar
about that.
Backstage. See, they were buddies for a while. They even done a little thing where they went around and done a couple shows together and all that.
Yeah.
And I reckon he just grabbed his guitar one night, the red 335 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And was playing around with it, and he just walks up and just knocks him one.
Dude. Well, if I didn't want somebody touching my guitar, I wouldn't punch them while they're playing the guitar. I would take the guitar from them first and then lay one on them. Man, rock and roll was that was real rock and roll back in the day, man.
Yeah.
You had Keith Richards pulling knives on people and all the other stuff they done. Back then, man, it was more than just the music, it was the lifestyle as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that things kind of get back to that. Do you think like what we acknowledge as rock and roll will ever be something like that again, or make it come back into the mainstream?
I don't know. I believe in like the true country sound was coming back before COVID from this area.
Oh yeah.
And now I don't know if it will be when it's over with or what's going to happen. Oh, you had like Chris Stapleton, Tyler Childers, and Sturgill Simpson, all that. Everybody from this area was kind of the go-to listening, what everybody wanted to hear. I hope it comes back to this area. 606 sound.
Yeah, man. and it's so crazy to think that the people that are the saviors of country music, what some people are calling them, are all from this area. Sturgill's Jackson, Chris is Paintsville, Prestonsburg, whichever way you want to look at that. Tyler, he's from Lawrence County, right?
And there was also another guy from Lawrence County named Adam Chaffins.
I've heard of that, yeah.
And he was actually on CMT, the top 20 pick or something like that. He had his video on there, and it was climbing until all this hit. So,
dang.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I was looking to go on tour and all of that whenever this kicked off. We spent months playing that, and all that got shut down. Things are getting a little bit more out there and stuff, though. And Tyler, he's been doing a lot while all of this has been going on, like releasing the music video for Country Squire and the 2 songs that he done with Ricky Skaggs and the rest of those musicians.
Did you see the Facebook Live with him and David Prince?
the
goat
bingo. Goat drop bingo. God bless, man. It's so cool, like whenever David and Tyler get together, because you can tell that like Tyler is more himself.
Yeah.
Because heck, him and David was his teacher.
Yeah.
So he can kind of relax a little bit and not have to be the big star that everyone else sees him as. That was good stuff, man. I
play a lot at the Smoking Butts in Paintsville.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you know where that is or not.
But anyway, that's good food.
Those guys, it's usually the same crowd. You got the certain hang-around guys that are there every Saturday whenever they're having the music and stuff. And a lot of times they say that Tyler, I've not been there when he has, but I've seen pictures. But they say that Tyler will just drop in and just act like he did back in the old days. Just to hang out with people.
Cool.
And then other people will be playing songs, and they'll go to sing White House Road, and he'll be like, don't play that. Like, I'm tired of that for a while.
Man, hey, I'll be honest. Like, White House Road, I know everybody else likes it, but that's, whenever it comes to Tyler Childers, I'll pick out a handful of songs before I pick White House Road. But it's still a good tune. And I heard that he also does stuff like that in Huntington, because Huntington he got a lot of his start right there too.
Yeah,
he doesn't fit like what stars are supposed to be like.
No.
Now, like Chris Stapleton, people will kind of argue that he sold out a little bit when he's doing songs with Justin Timberlake and Pink, and I mean it's. And, the guy's got to make money, too. I get it. Whatever. To each his own. But Tyler, you don't really see him doing anything
I don't
like
think
that.
He ever would.
I would hope not. I would hope not. We need to get back to, like, the outlaw country days.
Making honky-tonk music great again.
Hey, that a nice little plug right there. I see what you did there. Man, because... Well, we were talking about rock and roll earlier, how it was more of it was still the music back in the day, but it also had the lifestyle to it as well. And outlaw country was the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at
Billy Joel Shaver, where do you want it?
yeah, exactly. And back then, man, it was just, it was more than just a song that you could download off the internet. Like, you hear stories about Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, all the crazy stuff they done back in the day. Like, I'm probably butchering this story right here. Do you know the song Sunday Morning Coming Down,
Yeah.
Johnny Cash?
Yeah.
Have you heard the way Chris Christopherson got that song to him?
No.
He landed a helicopter in Johnny Cash's front yard and brought the song to him.
So
Now, I watched this on the internet. I'm probably butchering facts and stuff here, but that's generally the idea.
Yeah.
And that's how he got it to him. And yeah, I mean, you don't hear people doing stuff like that nowadays.
Oh, yeah, no. It's like David Allan Cole. You heard about him sleeping in front of the Opry,
No, I ain't heard
the Ryman,
that. No, I didn't hear
waiting
that.
on the stars to come by and trying to give him the songs.
Oh, I
Yeah,
heard that.
homeless,
Whoa.
sleeping in his car before he got, before he made it.
And all the songs that weren't allowed to be played by him back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I mean, it was just a lifestyle thing. That was the outlaw country, man. You Never Even Call Me by My Name, one of the greatest songs
Yeah.
ever written to this day.
Yeah.
If I've had a few in me, man, and that song comes on, especially
Karaoke.
Yeah, dude, and no shame whatsoever. I can't carry a tune in a bucket, but I'll try. If I've had enough of that liquid courage, it'll give me some courage whenever You Never Even Call My Name comes on, especially the very last one.
Yeah.
This has got run over by a damn old train, and I'll hang.
The part
Oh.
where he says it wasn't the perfect country and western song until he rewrote that verse.
Yeah. Well, I was drunk the day my mom got out of prison. You don't hear songs like that anymore,
No.
man. I think country music's making a comeback, though. And even it's also spreading to other parts of the United States, too. Like, have you heard of Coulter Wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's from out west. I know that. I don't exactly know where he's from.
I
but-
think he's from Saskatchewan, Canada.
Whoa. Saskatchewan. It's a cool name. I didn't know he's from Canada.
Yeah, he's Canadian. He's from somewhere. He's around in the plains part, the western part of Canada.
Can Canadians make country music? I don't know enough about Canada to give them that free pass. I guess they got country out there. Well, they got Letterkenny. I've watched Letterkenny.
You got Neil Young and Rush.
Well, yeah. I forgot Neil Young was from Canada.
Yeah.
That makes sense for him. And Rush, yeah. One of the... Oh, Neil. That broke my heart whenever we lost him.
Oh, yeah.
One of the greatest drummers that this world has ever seen.
And I don't think they'll ever play again. I don't think.
I mean, it's... Who could replace him? That's the thing. I mean, that's like Led Zeppelin trying to come back without Jimmy Page. You know, it's just almost impossible. Because there's some musicians that they're just unreplaceable.
To me, John Fogerty solo, it ain't the same as CCR.
Yeah, I'd say so. Weren't they supposed to try to make make something happen, and then all of this went on? I heard something about like rumors.
I wish they would.
I do too, man. It sucks that there's some of these amazing bands that we grew up listening to that somewhere along the road somebody's ego got a little too big, and now we don't have that band anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a dang shame, man. There's a lot of bands that are making comebacks nowadays, though. AC/DC were supposed to try something, even with Brian's hearing going out and all that, but then COVID hit.
I'd heard he kind of got it fixed. I don't know.
Yeah, they were going to try to do something. They were in the studio working on a brand new album and everything, but then everything hit. I'm glad that you still have some of those bands that are still trying, though. Like the Rolling Stones, they're still touring.
Yeah.
It's an arm and a leg to see them.
You can't afford it.
Them tickets are so expensive. But it's cool, though, that you at least have that chance.
I wanted to go watch Paul McCartney. He was at I think it was Rupp.
Yeah.
And
I want to go to that one,
I was
too.
like, I want to see a Beatle before I die. But I guess I'll just listen to him on the radio.
Man, and I get it. It's Paul McCartney, but dude, you can bring those prices down a little bit. It would be cool to see. It's him and Ringo.
Yeah.
That's the only two left.
Yeah.
Does Ringo do solo stuff? I know he has like solo work, but I wonder if like he tours and everything.
I think he is actually doing stuff with oh my goodness, I forgot his name. That sings Snake Farm.
Oh,
What is his name?
if you
I love him to death, but I just can't think of his name.
if you wouldn't have said anything, I would have got it there. I typed in Snake Farm and it just brought up Snake Farms. Oh, Ray
Wiley Hubbard. Yeah. They're actually doing these little Facebook Live stuff, quarantine tunes or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And he's playing the drums for Ray Wiley Hubbard.
Whoa. You're having a Beatle play drums for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ringo, you sure you don't want to sing, buddy? You can be a little bit closer to the front.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying watching bands do stuff like that, though. Because, I mean, even if you can't see them live, you at least have that option. Have you done anything like that during all this?
Like what?
Like the quarantunes?
I done one where I done it for about an hour. I just set up with me and my guitar and just done what I usually do at a show.
Mm-hmm.
What I could do that would sound good with just me and a guitar.
Yeah.
But as a band, no, we haven't done anything like quarantunes. But the last 2 months, we've been playing wide open.
Yeah, man, I've been really digging watching all the local bands and stuff posting about gigs. Fills my heart with joy, man. It's because we need live music right now. Especially with all this craziness going on, we need it right now more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just a little local hole-in-the-wall bar or something.
Yeah.
I think that's why people are so angry right now, because they can't let those emotions go, you know? And we're not communicating with each other. If we see somebody at Walmart, we're not saying hi. We're just trying to get by them as fast as possible. You're not having that connection that people get at watching a live event.
It's kind of like when you meet somebody now, you don't know whether to, shake hands. What do? You don't want to be too awkward. It's kind of like going to somebody's funeral that you didn't really know, and you're around the people there, and you don't know how to act.
Yeah, that's a good analogy right there. That's exactly what it's like. It's weird, man, but it's getting a lot more normal than it has been, I think. We still got to get to the point. I'll be happy whenever we aren't afraid to shake hands or give a hug or dance or whatever the case may be. Because people just need that connection right now. We can still be connected if we want to be, but I don't know. With the way the media portrays the world and all of that stuff, that's another thing that people need to stop doing too. Is
turn the TV off.
Yes, God bless. That I see more political stuff and news stuff on Facebook than I do the actual news.
Yeah.
People have been stuck at the house so much they need to go out to a little dive bar and see a concert instead of sitting there all day on Facebook. God bless, man.
They need to come to the Brick House on October the 3rd and see the Midnight Promise.
Boom, boom, boom. I'm liking these little plugs, man. You're getting them in there perfect. And that's another thing, too. Like, the Brick House has been doing stuff. Local breweries around the area, other restaurants. And it's all safe. I've been to a few of them. It's all safe. The Brick House, they do it outside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of it's outside. And it's perfectly safe. Everything's social distance. You can wear a mask if you want to. People ain't got to be scared to come out.
No.
And it's so cheap, too. Do they even charge anything to, like, see the music at the Brick House? Is there, like, a door fee?
Nope. Just come in if you just want a Pepsi, I guess. Get you a Pepsi. Water.
See, that's another thing, too. Like, it's not an arm and a leg to go see a local show, either. And where else are you going to see one right now?
Just like the Jenny Wiley Lodge. We played there last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been playing there a lot. And I think this Saturday they announced that the biggest show in East Kentucky that's free. See, because they don't charge anything.
Yeah. And what an amazing place to see a show too.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
Whenever I first started doing comedy, we started doing stuff at Dewey's Bar and Grill up there. And man, you spend the day on the lake, and fishing or swimming, whatever you want to do. Come in, and their food is phenomenal. And get you some good food and see a free show. Where else can you do stuff like that? It's just, Jenny Wiley has a special place in my heart, man.
Yeah. Good people, too.
Oh, amazing people. I've never met somebody that wasn't nice there. They've all got hearts filled with love. Big shout out to Jenny Wiley. But yeah, people need to start getting out. I know that it's scary, too, but if you go to Walmart, you can go to a local show or something. From the ones that I've been to, the waitresses are cleaning off the tables, keeping everything sanitary. You're seated 6 feet apart. Most everybody has a mask on. There's no reason to not feel safe.
Yeah, it's just like your immediate family. You get, you go to a certain spot, and then they take care of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's totally fine. So that's why people get off Facebook and get out and do something. I mean, just get out of your dang house, and you don't have to mingle with everybody, but just being around the public can help as much too. Because we're not as divided as the media says that we are.
No.
I would like to believe that that is a small percent of the entire human population that they're showing on TV. And it looks like a lot of people on there, but you look at how many millions of people we have here in the United States, and you're seeing 20 of them on the news messing stuff up. That's not everybody.
I was at a concert a couple years ago, and I can't remember where the band was from, but they was from away from here, like out around California or somewhere. Mm-hmm. And see, we're kind of sheltered here. We hear other stuff from other places. It's like, oh, that's there. It must be bad everywhere. Yeah. But when you hear people from there say, we're not divided, don't let them tell you that we are. Yeah. That kind of stuck with me.
Exactly. And it just goes to show how much power that the media has, and also tells us how to think.
Yeah.
That's another thing, too, man. People need to start thinking for themselves. Stop looking at how Fox or CNN or whoever tells you how to think. Think for yourself. And I don't know, man. It's just...
Who knows? Maybe music will go the route of revolution like it did in the 60s. Against the man again. Except the man this time is the media. Yeah. Well,
and we're waking up to who the true bad guys and gals really are. I was hoping for that we would have like some type of musical revolution that took on the big organizations and the media and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, maybe here and there, but nothing like it was back then.
No.
I don't know, man. I just can't wait for this to be a forgotten memory. That when we're just reading about this in the history books 40 years from now, that this went on.
Yeah.
And people need to be reminded of that, too, that it's not going to last forever. Heck, it's already slowing down. We're just sitting here promoting shows.
Yeah.
We couldn't have done that 3 months ago.
No.
But it's getting there. And I'm thankful. I'm more thankful than ever to live in the area that we do, especially with all of this going on right now. Because, the big cities, those are the ones that are having all the problems and everything right now. But around here, man, everybody's easygoing. They have a better sense of community to them. I would rather be here than anywhere on planet Earth right now.
Yes. Love East Kentucky.
Yeah. I mean, we're not. I don't think that we're divided as the big cities are.
No.
Because around here, man, people are fighting the same battles. They basically have the same mindset. It's a beautiful place to be.
Mm-hmm.
If we can send some of that love to other places of the world, maybe they need country music is what they need.
Yes.
That's what'll save the world right there. See, that's what I like about Tyler Childers and Sturgill. He's went well, he's going back to the bluegrass route, but he's dabbled in the rock and stuff like that. But whenever you hear somebody like Tyler Childers sing about just fixing up a camper,
Yeah.
or talking about taking care of his family, or just writing a love song about his wife, it's just it's getting back to the roots of every human being. Like, everybody can relate to a song like Feathered Indians or something like that. That's what I love about the country music that we're producing. It has a natural feel to it that the human body can identify with. And that's what I think that the world needs, man. We need less WAP and more all yarn.
Yeah.
And that's because people don't realize how big the mainstream, well, not just media in general, but the music that we listen to, what we watch and hear about, how it influences our daily lives.
Yeah.
Listening to people like Tyler Childers makes me a better person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people just, I don't know. I think that I've said this so much, and people are probably getting tired of me saying this, but Eastern Kentucky is the new Nashville. I hope that we don't get the traffic and tourism that Nashville does. If we get a little bit of that, it'll be all right, but not over the top like they have. But I really think, man, like there is a musical revolution going on around here.
I would love to see something like back in the day, how they come around. I guess was it called the Bristol Sessions?
Yeah,
where you had had them come around and go into the mountains, and that's when they first brought the country music. What year was that? 1920?
Let me look at that. Bristol Sessions.
When Jimmy Rogers and the Carter family, when they was founded, their first recordings.
1927.
1927. Yep. I think that someone from Nashville needs to set up shop here and just check out everything instead of people around here getting promoted and going down there.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people getting missed out on that could be big time.
Oh, yeah. And even then, what's beautiful about the way that things are going nowadays is you don't need the big record contracts or record companies, some guy in a three-piece suit that don't know anything about music telling you what to do. With social media, man, it's beautiful how you can get out there if you know the right things to do on there. Like we're talking about playing a full concert there on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
That's just cool, man. We need to, I think more artists and entertainers need to take advantage of opportunities like that. Heck, somebody from Japan can check out your song on Facebook. That's wild. 20 years ago, you would have to go to Japan and play for that person for them to hear you live. But now you can just, the social media is just, it can be, there's a big old yin and yang to it.
Yeah.
If we put more music on there and art and stuff that people enjoy and less political bullcrap, then it'll be a lot better of a place to be.
And I wish the young kids would stop listening to what they should like and listen to what they like. Don't go from like you said, the WAP crowd.
Yeah. Well, and again, like that's going back to them telling you how to think.
Yeah.
You know, like, because that's all you turn on the news or you get on Facebook, that's all you see is like WAP, WAP, WAP. Yeah. Look over here, WAP, look over here, WAP. Stop. Think for yourself. Check out what you might like. Maybe get out of your comfort zone and stuff like that. I wasn't a big country music fan 5 years ago because all it was Florida Georgia Line or Luke Bryan or whatever, and I just like all of this is crap. I don't really identify with any of this stuff. I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea. And then I heard about people like the local side is what got me first. People like Grayson Jenkins and Sunday Best and Laid Back, and then you started hearing about other people from around this area getting bigger, like Tyler or Sturgill and all that. And it's weird, and I know this is out there, but there's just like an energy that my body gets listening to somebody like Tyler. where I can identify with the lyrics, where it's mostly acoustic instruments. It just feels more natural. Like this is good for the body. I don't know, man. It's just, there's a certain energy about really good music. And that's what we got around here.
Yeah, I think that there's a certain soul, I don't know if you'd call it coal dust or what, that enters the body that makes us sing and like play a certain way. I don't know. But you don't have it anywhere else. You have a certain few people that emulate it from other states and places, but the true well of it, I believe, is East Kentucky.
I do too. And I wonder what made it that way. You know, like maybe the hardships that people had to go through around here, maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know, man. It just, because it's so weird, like you just said, how what exists here doesn't exist anywhere else.
And I'm a student of history. I love history. And if you study music, it's always went a certain way and then went back to its roots. Like the cosmopolitan sound of country. It was kind of squashed by the outlaw movement.
Cosmopolitan sound. That's funny. I like that.
And the outlaw movement kind of squashed it a little bit. And then the country started getting the disco sound and getting a little popish again. And then in the mid-'80s, you had people like from here, like Dwight Yoakam, who took it back to the Bakersfield roots and done his thing.
Yeah. And see, I think that can happen too with, you know, like rock and roll.
Yeah.
It just takes the right band to come along and take it back.
The Black Keys.
The Black Keys, that's a good example. What's that one song? Gold on the Ceiling or something? That's such a good song.
I remember when I first heard them, I thought rock and roll was dead and never be back.
Yeah.
But they're awesome.
Yeah, man. Black Keys are so good, dude. And you have a few of those bands here and there, but you just got to dig a little bit to find them. And a lot of those bands that we're talking about, like they're in those local dive bars and in them hole-in-the-wall restaurant places. That's where you're going to hear good music like that. And the local side, too, man. See, that's another thing that people don't get. We're not all country. You have so many different sounds around here. You got country, you got folk, you got rock, you got alternative rock. You got a little bit of everything. That's another beautiful thing about our area. It's not just one genre. Like Nashville is mostly country, but here it's such a broad mixture. Has anybody said that like you sound like somebody?
No, I don't know who I sound like.
To me, it's like Hank Williams Jr., man.
Hank Williams Jr.?
Yeah, dude. I get a big Hank Williams Jr. vibe off of you.
What do you classify me as? Southern rock? Outlaw country?
Whatever a mixture of those two things are.
Yeah.
Southern country. No, that don't sound good. Outlaw rock. That kind of sounds good. I like outlaw rock. Yeah, there we go.
Subgenre. We just made one.
Well, yeah. I don't even like putting people in a box like that, man. Because, well, like you'll have a one song that sounds a little bit more country, and then you'll be rocking out on the next one. I think genres are stupid, man. As long as it sounds good, music can be just music.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, you had, Sturgill Simpson, for example. People look at him as a country artist, but that last record that he had was the most psychedelic.
Went crazy when they heard that.
Dude, for me, there were some songs on there that were but for the most part, man, I loved it. Yeah. I mean, he could have, who knows what influenced him to make some of the stuff on that record, but I liked the rock vibe.
Yeah.
It was more like a psychedelic rock vibe.
I'm ready to hear the bluegrass.
Me too. I follow him on Instagram, and he shared like a little snippet of it. I think he's already deleted it. It was like in a story or whatever they call it, so it's probably already gone for anybody out there listening. but it sounded good. Sounded real good. That dude is hilarious too.
Yeah.
He'll post some of the funniest stuff on there, man. I can't even say what he put about the song that he released. But yeah, dude, I'm such a big Sturgill fan.
Yeah.
You recorded in Jackson, didn't you?
Yeah. His hometown.
Yeah, man. Jackson's such an awesome place.
The Fat Cave Studios.
Shout out to Fat Cave. That's such a good name, too.
Yeah,
Fat
Fat
Cave.
Sam.
Is that what they call him?
He's self-titled, so we can call him that.
It's such a good name for a studio, though. Fat Cave. I spent like a weekend in Jackson one time. I was my friend, she's an actress, and I went down with her to help her out. But yeah, man, they had this one place. God, I wish I could remember the name of it. The food was so awesome. It was right across the road from their pet store down there, and that pet store had the meanest parrot I've ever
Thatcher's.
seen. That sounds right.
Thatcher's down home.
I think
Or
that
downtown.
that sounds right. It's kind of like just like a country looking place. Yeah. That's it. I guess so. I'm hoping that's right. But man, if that is the place, they had some of the best food I've ever ate on this earth. This is 7 years ago, and I still remember how good this food is.
They have live music there. Is this the same place you're talking about?
See, we got it. We had to have it delivered and
okay.
stuff. But it was I remember driving by the place and seeing the name of it and saying, "Oh, that's where we get the food from." But yeah, man, Jackson is just such a quiet, nice little town. So it's I don't know. There's a good vibe in the air there. I'll say. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know about Sturgill until about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I didn't know he was from around there or anything until I started reading about him, and it makes sense.
I can't believe his daddy was the state police.
Ain't that something? I wonder what his daddy thinks of some of the choices he's made in life. Yeah, man, like Turtles All the Way Down.
Yeah.
That's an out there song, man.
But I heard his daddy was an undercover detective, and he would actually have to go undercover.
Oh, I get it. So maybe that had some
So
influence.
probably,
Yeah, that he's got that DNA.
Yeah.
Some of that probably transferred over. Now everything makes sense. I wonder how his obsession with Japan got started.
I don't know.
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that a country music star from Jackson, Kentucky would fall in love with Japan?
I don't know.
It went good, though. See, when I first heard that he was doing a psychedelic rock album to an anime movie, I'm like, what? What has he been smoking? and I watched, and I'm like, this is actually good. It shouldn't have been as good as it was.
I think he's just a true rebel. Anti-establishment all the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, isn't he the one that he played outside of the CMAs?
Yeah.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
See, that's the type of outlawed country music lifestyle we were talking about earlier. You set up shop outside of the CMAs and take away their crowd to watch you at a free concert outside.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. We need more people like Sturgill Simpson in this world. I was more of a Sturgill fan than I was there with Tyler for quite a while. Until I started really diving more into Tyler's catalog. And even then, I don't know, man. I'd say they're both good. I can't have a favorite.
Did you read where he was talking about the album? I think it's Sailor's Guide to Earth. Is that the album?
Yeah.
That where it's basically just a lullaby to his kid.
That's cool.
Is how it got started. And decided to record it.
I didn't know that. That's neat. There's one song on there, Brace for Impact. It's a good song. It's a really good song. I
love Breaker's Roar.
That's a good one too. Man, well, and what I also love about Sturgill, see, I grew up, my dad, he raised me listening to like hippie 60s music. My mom was the 70s progressive era. And my brother, he let me listen to like the 80s hair metal and stuff. But one thing that I loved about the 60s side was the compilation albums. Like you could start an album and listen to it all the way through and it be telling a story. Kind of like Sgt. Pepper and the Lonely Hearts Band or The Wall, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And Sturgill, that's what he does with a lot of his records. Because, man, the kids nowadays, they're missing out on so much whenever they just download a song. And oh, they've got the song. But whenever you find like a good album and you can listen to it from front to back, it's more than just music, it's an experience.
That's why I like vinyl. It's because it's physical. You're actually holding it, and you open it up, and you can look at all the pictures, read the lyrics, and all that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got this one record the other day. It's has to do with orange juice, and you open the record up, and like the top of the thing comes up like it would like on an orange juice like box. You know, like I had to flip out the side of it. It does that whenever you open up the record. The record itself looks like an orange. It's just cool, man. You can't get stuff like that whenever you download a song.
I love Alice Cooper records. It's The School's Out. It's actually the school desk. It folds up, and you can fold the seat up, and inside it looks like it's got like a slingshot and like bubble gum and all that.
Dude, I don't have any Alice records. I didn't know about that. That's cool, man.
And $1 Billion Babies. It's got the $1 billion bill. It's like this big.
And yeah, Cheech and Chong had Big Bamboo, and it was just one big rolling paper. Man, vinyl. The only thing I don't like about vinyl is I'll lay down on the couch and just be listening to it, really caught up in the music, and then you got to flip it over.
Yeah.
So you got to get up and walk over, flip it over, then go lay back down on the couch. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's just a beauty. What I love about vinyl records too is whenever you find. See, I collect nothing but like used, like the original. Yeah. Even if it's in crappy condition, I'll still get it as long as it's used. No offense to like the newer reissues and all that, but it just ain't the same to me. Yeah. I like to get it and look at the year that it was released and all that. But whenever you find like people that have written on it and whatever they wrote on it, it just makes you think like, who wrote that? You know, when did they write it? Why did they write it?
Just like me, I won't go past 1985.
Yeah.
Well, that's collection. I don't know why. I just,
It's probably when they stopped making records. That's the good ones, at least. But, yeah, man, I don't know. And it's crazy to think, too, like, even if it was released back in 1985 and you got it today, that means it took, I'm so bad at math. Is that 35 years?
I don't know.
2020, yeah, that should be 35 years. I'm pretty sure. That means it took 35 years for it to get in your hands. Yeah. And that just blows my mind, man. I mean, like, where did it have to go? Whose hands did it have to be in before it got to you? That's just crazy to think about.
I love, though, going to like a thrift store or just something like that, or Goodwill or anything, and looking, and you finding, to you, it's like you found a gold mine. Yeah. Like I found a Johnny Cash, the red and hot, is that what's red and blue guitar, whatever, his first one, Sun record, and I bought it for $1.
Wow, man, that's such a good find, dude. I think I have one Johnny Cash record, and it's like a kind of like a compilation thing of his gospel stuff.
Wow. And I'm like looking around like everybody should be excited as me, and they're like over here, looking through clothes or something.
Yeah. Well, we went to a antique shop, and my dad and them were looking for like old furniture and stuff. That's what my stepmom is into, and I found this like little crate of records, and there wasn't like a lot in there, and finally, I found Leonard Skinner's Second Helping and Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Oh, that's awesome.
And both of them, like, mint condition, both originals. And like you said, man, it's like you found a freaking gold mine. You lose your mind over that. And everybody else is like, it's just records. Yeah. Nobody gets it. Nobody. It's such a good feeling, man. And that's another thing, too. Like, well, of course, you can go to somewhere like Mountain Music to their vinyl shop. And a big shout out to Tony and Joni and Kevin, all those cool cats and kittens up there. But, man, I found so much great stuff at just, like, you said, like a regular thrift store, Goodwill, antique shop. You can find all types of awesome records in there.
Yard sale.
Yeah. People don't know what they have when they're releasing all that.
I think I went to a yard sale once and bought 400. and it was like the good stuff,
Yeah.
like CCR, Boston, Leonard Skinner, you know, Led Zeppelin,
Oh,
Deep
man.
Purple. I bought 400 for like $30.
Dude, people don't realize what they have, man. I still kick myself in the butt for this. Right after Ralph Stanley died, I was up there at Mountain Music, in the vinyl shop, and they got some bluegrass records in. And this one was like a compilation album, and I was looking at it, and I was about to get it. They had like a $6 price tag on it or something like that, and I was going to get it, and I was so stupid. I was like, this looks like it has an autograph on it. And we got to looking at it, and Dr. Ralph Stanley signed it. I don't know when he did, but it was just right after he passed away, and safe to say they raised that price a lot more than just $6 after that. You never know what you're going to find, man.
I had a Grand Funk Railroad record that had I'd bought at a yard sale.
Mm-hmm.
When I opened it up, it had a button from a shirt with a piece of tape, and the tape is like almost like a dark brown color, and just falling off.
Mm-hmm.
But it said Mark on it, and I don't know the guy's last name from Grand Funk Railroad, but one of the singers is named Mark something, and I don't know if that's true. If that was, but why would they have the button unless they was at a concert maybe and
Whoa.
somebody lost a button and threw it out in the crowd, and then they got him to sign their album later or what?
That's cool, man. Yeah, you never know what you're going to find. I guess you have to be really into music to appreciate how important vinyl is.
Yeah.
You'd have to be at this point. But yeah, man, and it's so beautiful how it's still around too. Like whenever Walmart started selling vinyl records and record players and stuff, everything old comes back sooner or later.
You think we'll ever have 8 tracks on cars?
Hey, I've got an 8-track player. I've only got a few. I've only been able to find a few in my life, but I've got an 8-track player. Now, maybe. I don't. You would think. I mean, if records make a comeback, 8 tracks probably. Them big old things. That was bigger than a VHS tape.
Yeah.
Cool setup, though. They had a really cool setup. I don't know, man. I think that. I hope that the young kids will get even CDs, man. I enjoyed CDs. I remember sometimes they came with like a sticker or something, and you got to open it up and read about the song where it had the lyrics or something. Like back in the day, if we didn't understand a song's lyrics, there was no Google to where we could look it up. You had to get the album cover, try to hope that they printed the lyrics in it in the first place, and then you found it,
Like sitting down and trying to figure it out. Hotel California. So what are they talking about? Let me read this over and over, see if I can understand it.
And music, man, was just it was beautiful back then. It was more like poetry than just trying to write a hit song or whatever.
My first memories of music was on Mom and Dad had those big wooden stereos. It looks like a piece of furniture.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the record player and the 8 tracks and all that on the inside of it. And over here, like a thing for a bar, like to hold your stuff.
Hey, that'd be cool to have, though, man. Do you still have that?
I wish they still had it. I don't know where you'd put those things now because they was as big as a car.
Yeah. And man, that was just it was such a cool experience though. It meant so much more than just hitting play on your phone and putting some headphones in. To actually hold the record in your hand. Have you pressed any of your music on vinyl or anything?
No, I'd love to.
It's expensive, but man, it would be awesome to do it.
Yeah.
Well, the sites that I've went on, it looks expensive. There's probably a much cheaper way to do it.
Yeah.
That would be cool though. But so the music that you recorded at Fat Cave.
Yeah.
That was like a little EP, right?
Yeah, it's 4 songs. 4 of my original songs, and if you go on his YouTube channel, I guess he ain't got the copyrights for it or whatever, but we have a AC/DC cover on there, and it is awesome.
What'd you do?
Gone Shooting.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
that's a song that not a lot of people know about. That's cool that you done that cover.
Yeah.
What made you choose that one other than like more of a well-known song?
Well, our other singer in the band, Midnight Promise, Tony Howard,
Yeah.
he's singing it, and he can. I knew when I hear his voice, I just know that he could do that song.
Yeah.
So I handpicked it for him, and I said, "You got to learn this song," and he rocked it. It was awesome.
That's awesome, man. Who all is in your band?
Let's see. We're all from Cyersville, all but 2 guys. But there's me and Tony Howard, Doug Russell, Sean Hoskins, Willie Dingus, and then Barry Maggard on the harmonica when we can get him.
Hey, I wish I knew how to play harmonica. That looks so cool. So where did the name Midnight Promise come from? It's a cool name.
I just kind of made it up. And instead of using the correct spelling, I used like the old Gothic spelling.
Yeah.
Midnite.
I didn't even like really catch that whenever
Yeah.
I was looking at it. What made you choose that? Just it looked cool?
Looked cooler to me.
Okay. I like when people do stuff like that just because it looks cool. No big meaning or anything. You don't have to have anything like that as long as it looks cool. Well, for the people out there that want to check you out and all that stuff, where do they go to do that?
Well, I have a YouTube channel, Eddie Jenkins. They can check it out there. Or the music that we done at the Fat Cave sessions, they could go on, look up Midnight Promise, Midnite, Promise, and that's on anywhere you stream music, Napster, Amazon, Google, just all that, iTunes.
Nice.
And they can purchase those songs. Or I have a Facebook page called Eddie Jenkins Music, and I'll post all of our shows coming up, and come check us out.
Brick House when?
Brick House is October the 3rd.
Bada boom. Bada bing. Well, Eddie, dude, it's been a lot of fun talking to you, man. Anytime you want to stop by again, brother, just hit me up. We'll make it happen, Captain.
Oh, yeah, I had fun.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Eddie Jenkins. Boom.
Well, I've seen me a lot of people, see him struggle and strive. And old Hank tried to warn me I can't get from here alive. I gotta keep on smiling, try to lend a hand, sing and fill a few songs and get right with the man. Whoa, ain't never settled down. Whoa, another place, another town. I gotta ramble, find a place to live it down. Whoa, another place, another town. Hell, I'm in Texas, been so good to me. I tried like hell to get my sister along in Tennessee. They don't want chase another